All right, are you guys ready for a raw and vulnerable conversation? I'm always raw and vulnerable with you guys, especially on my Instagram channel where I feel like I just share a lot more about my day and my life and all of that. But today I'm going to be raw and vulnerable. I want to share some things with you because I think that for some of you guys this is going to be really helpful. And I know that I was craving these type of conversations when I was going through my own journey. So here I am now giving back and creating these type of conversations so that hopefully it helps you guys on your path to really just coming to a place of wholeness is what it is. I already have tears in my eyes. So lately, I've had a lot come up lately, and it's been really interesting. I feel like now I've reached this really beautiful place with food and my body and exercise and just in general this thing called life. And it's really interesting that now out of all times, I've been feeling so emotional lately. Very emotional and just like a lot of things coming up. And the things that are coming up for me right now is just the pain of what I did to myself in the past. Um, it's almost like the better my life gets, the happier I get, the more connected and in tune I feel, uh, the more I clearly just see how detrimental those years of restriction and dealing with eating disorders were. It's like, wow, life's so great, life's so amazing, this is absolutely amazing. And then it's like I get hit with this sadness of my life could have been that way if I just didn't go through those 11, 12 years of going through everything I went through. So it's like I'm sad for the younger version of myself. I'm not sad for me in my life right now. My life is freaking amazing. And I'm so blessed to just be where I'm at in my life. And I'm so thankful that I'm at, again, where I'm at with food and body and all that. But it's it hurts. It hurts looking back and being like, dang, I did that. Like, that was crazy. It was crazy what I did, guys. And maybe some of you guys can resonate with this. You look at what you're doing, or you look at maybe some past behaviors that you've already kind of improved on, and you're like, whoa, how did I do that? How? Why? Why did I do that? And I think that's my the biggest thing that I'm getting hung up on is that it's not just how did I do that? It's like, why did I do that when I could have just been living in a different way? I could have just been having fun as a teenager. I could have just been going to prom and going out to Disneyland for graduation and going on trips to the islands and doing all these things. I could have just been doing that. Instead, I was so fixated on calories and how much I ate and how clean and pure the food was and reading all these books on diet and nutrition, which is actually funny. I just cleaned up my whole room and I have this bookcase, or this bookshelf has all these books, and it's all the past books of things that I read, and I literally just looked at them one day and I was like, why do I still have these? I need to get rid of these. So grabbed them all and I donated them to the thrift store. And it feels good to just yeah, I'm getting that out. But I look at those and I'm like, I read every single one of those books. And what's funny is as I'm looking at them, I'm like, the Carnivore Cure, the Grain Brain, the Raw Till 4, and it's all different diets, different theories on health and nutrition, and I just remember going through every single one of those. And again, it's just such a waste of time, and in the end of the day I'm like, or I could have just chosen to be balanced and eat a little bit of everything and just stop freaking out about food all the time and just come to peace with just not having any labels with what I should or shouldn't be eating, and instead just kind of being a human being and just eating the food that comes to me, the food that I desire, the food that I want, the food that people for me in my life cook, and just listening to my body instead of listening to what all these books said of what I should and shouldn't be eating. It was just such a disconnection for myself. And again, I think that's what's making me so sad right now. Is just that I was so disconnected from myself, and that's a really sad thought because I'm so connected now and I see how beautiful it is. And it's also really just sad when I think about not having a period for 11 years. I freaking love my period. Like, love it. It's been like such a blessing in my life to have it. I think it's just my life's a lot more emotional for in a great way. Like, I was living so like flatline for so long, and now my life is just like it's full, it's emotional. I change every single week. I'm going through like a different season, and it's just like it's fun, and it just has made life so juicy, and it's helped me in that connection process, because every week I really have to tune in of like, okay, what is this week, what is this day, like how do I feel now? And it's, the days that I'm ovulating versus like the days I just end my period are like radically different as far as like my energy and how productive I can be at work and all those things. And it's just been so great to just, again, it's feeling more aligned and more in tune. I literally like do have tears in my eyes. um it yeah, I just wanted to come on here. I don't know if there's too much more I want to say, but that's pretty much what I wanted to say, is just share with you guys kind of my perspective now, being at the place that I'm at now and looking back and being like, wow, I think I have trauma from what I did to myself. I did actually set up some appointments with a neurofeedback specialist. She's a psychotherapist, neurofeedback. She does hypnotherapy. She does just regular talk therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, and all of that. I'm like super excited. She came from a recommendation from a friend. And so I'm like, finally, for the first time in my life, and again, this is just testament to how much healing has been done, that I'm finally at the place where I can like ask for help and not think that like, oh, I have to do this alone and I need to be stubborn, which is what I thought my whole journey, right? And maybe you guys really resonate with that, because I know a lot of you guys feel that way, where it's just like you're so resistant to getting help. But it's like, no, I'm not going to hire a therapist. No, I'm not going to hire a coach. No, I'm not going to hire a dietitian. No, I'm not going to, it's like, I'm just going to do this alone. It's like, or you could like fast track this whole thing and just do it with someone and have that support, and it's like so much better. So I'm really excited to start with this therapist and to start getting neurofeedback and really looking at like any past trauma that I may still be holding from just like the years of what I did. Again, like everything in my life is like so good now, and it's just like really looking at those past things and being like able to forgive myself for like what I did. And I do to a certain extent, but I know that there's a lot more work, and I've been just like feeling it bubble up. And so I am being a responsible adult, and I'm going and I'm getting therapy for this, and I'm so excited. Like, I'm excited. I don't shy away from work. And if you're going through this recovery journey, I hope that you aren't too. I hope that you're not shying away from really diving in and doing the deep work and being like, okay, let's release this past trauma. Let's really work through these emotions. Let's just be aware at my certain like, habits and behaviors and personality traits and all of that. And like, let's just be very curious and not judgmental about it. I'm not judging myself and being like, how dare you feel like sad right now? How dare you feel like all this emotion coming up? No, I'm going, okay, this is beautiful. There's a lot of emotion coming up. There's a lot of things that I feel like I like stuffed away and have not really like brought out to the present and healed so much. Of course, that's how I got to where I am now. But there's still more, and there will always be more, and there will always be more in other sort of areas of my life. Maybe, there will be areas in the future like with a partnership and working through different like things that come up in that type of relationship. And so there's always things that you can work on. So if I can leave you with anything for this video, it's don't shy away from the work. Don't judge yourself for having work to be done. And bring awareness to the situation you're at. And if you can, take a moment to like, let me envision myself in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And what am I going to think about how I'm living now, the choices I'm making now, how I feel about myself now? Like, how would, 60-year-old me feel about that? And oftentimes we can get a lot of great insight when we ask things like that. Okay. I think that's it for today. Thanks for letting me cry in front of the camera. That felt really good for me. Again, this is another really healing thing, is being vulnerable. Being vulnerable, being open. I've been so open with like my family of like, I feel like I'm dealing with a lot of like stuff that's coming up right now, and instead of doing what I'm so used to doing, which is like, let me just shove it all away and let me pretend that I'm perfect, instead I'm going like, oh my gosh, I am a human being and I have these emotions and I have these experiences and everything that's just like coming up, and I want a healthy way to express those things so that it doesn't become unhealthy. It's like I'm finally learning the key, right? It's like learn to express those things, not shove them down and then have unhealthy behaviors to try and cope with all of those things, which is what I did during my multiple years of exercise addiction and extreme dieting and restriction and all of that. It was a way of me coping with all the things I was freaking stuffing, instead of just being like, well, okay, let's see what's going on here. Like, what's going on? Anyways, okay, I'm gonna go. That's it for today. If you felt just connected to this video, click the like button, subscribe, and like I say in all of my videos, I will see you in the next one, but only if you hit the notification bell, because that's when you get notified that I came out with a new video. If you haven't picked up on it yet, I come out with a new video every single Monday and a new podcast every single Thursday. A podcast short now on the YouTube channel every single Wednesday. So I'm picking my favorite 10 minutes of all of my favorite podcasts, which is all of them. So 10 minutes from each podcast, and I'm uploading them as a little like podcast video short on YouTube so that you guys can get like little daily dose of inspiration throughout the week. Okay, that's all I have to say today. Mwah. Bye.